Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Listen to these headlines. The greatest paradigm shift in finance is coming. I know a lot of you are like, yeah, that's not exactly breaking news, Bradley. Well, how about this? Blackrock, NASDAQ, real world asset tokenization. How about somebody roll that beautiful intro?
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.07 trillion market cap for crypto, and the market's up 1.9%. Right now, Bitcoin back at 88,300 plus. You heard that right, 88,300 plus. 2,800 plus for Ethereum. XRP is at 205 right now. We're up 1.6 on the 24. We're off 7.4 on the 7-day. Looking at the range of price here, range between 202 and 207. We'll keep an eye on it, even though we're at the top side of the range. I want to tell you right now, it's Caleb and Brown, ladies and gentlemen. You know, if you're getting into this space, or if you've been in this space a long time, you know better than anyone else. Custody, 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 security, security, security of your assets. That's what's most important. And if you're like me, you've gone years and years and years not knowing where you can go. I was on one exchange, then got pushed off of that exchange. Then I had to go on to another exchange. Then I decided to split my assets across multiple different holding grounds. And that is where I've arrived today. And Caleb and Brown is one of those trusted places where I go to hold my assets, because I tell you what, they have incredible service. They have human customer service 24/7, 365. It is absolutely unmatched in this space. They have free institutional grade custody. That's exactly right. You don't buy, sell, or swap. You can use the institutional grade custody on that platform for free. But they're so confident in their service, they know that you won't want to take advantage of them for that. You know, it reminds me of the XRP ledger. No incentive is the best incentive. It's exactly what they're doing here. No incentive and offering free institutional grade custody at no cost, as long as you don't buy, sell, or swap, is to show you just how much they trust in the service they bring to you, whether it's at the security level or whether it is from the prime broker level. Don't mess around and go to xrpwealth589.com and get started today. You're going to love it, and you're going to start getting the peace of mind that you deserve. Right here is just a reminder, covered this heavier in the first video. Please go watch that. All XRP ETFs on Vanguard today are XRP ETF, which is the ticker. I'll just do the tickers. XRPPI or XRPI. Bitwise is XRP with the dollar sign. Love that for them. Canary is XRPC. Franklin is XRPZ. Tucrium, shout out to Sal Gilberti. We love that guy. Is XXRP. Makes sense. 2 times long trading. And CoinShares XRP ETF is XRPL. How about that? That's hot. And XRPT is another one for 2 times XRP ETF. And you see ProShares is UXRP. Rex Osprey is XRPR. And then you have Amplify, but we still don't have the 21 shares, which was supposed to go live yesterday. So not sure what the hang up is there, but we'll see. And that is TO XRP, I believe. Right here, let's look at this. The Federal Reserve just pumped $13.5 billion into the banking system for the United States through overnight repos. This is the second largest liquidity injection since COVID and surpasses even the peak of the dot-com bubble. Probably fine, carry on. Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing, right? This just shows you the trouble the U.S. banking industry is in, the liquidity crisis that the Fed is covering each night at the repo window, which is where the overnight lending window from the Fed to the banks. There's a $13.5 billion shortfall just last night. That's what they're telling us. And every night, the Fed's got to cough up the money to pay it out because other banks won't lend to each other because they can feel the music to this musical chairs slowing down, ladies and gentlemen. And at some point, it's going to come to a screeching halt, which is why I believe The Federal Reserve Vice Chair, Michelle Bowman, says bank regulators are working on crypto stablecoin rules because when you have a liquidity crisis, bringing a velocity of money, a speeding up of the transactional use of money, how fast it can literally go from one hand to the other becomes very critical to start to close that gap on a liquidity crisis. You know what else? Is being able to unlock dormant capital. This is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. And stablecoins is a first step, just like custody, way we opened the video. Let's hear the greatest SEC chair in my mind talk about what's going on with working with Congress and crypto regulations right now.
What needs to be done with crypto without legislation? And do you think that can happen before the end of the year?
Well, we'll see. We're working with Congress and we're providing what we call technical assistance to them regarding legislation to make sure that they're staying on what makes sense and that meshes with other laws and whatnot. And we'll see. I can't prognosticate that, but we have enough authority to drive forward. I'm looking forward to having an innovation exemption that we've been talking about now. We'll be able to get that out in a month or so is what I'm hoping. We were impeded a bit by the government shutdown. Obviously, we couldn't work on things during that time, but we're on track and we will be able to forge forward with the crypto area and make sure that we are able to embrace this new area of innovation that for too long the United States basically has just pushed back against. And so I'm looking forward to having rules that are focused on helping that sector of the economy move forward.
There you have it right there from the greatest SEC chair at my house. I can tell you that. Shout out to Paul Atkins helping Congress stay on track. Remember, we could see if we're going to see motion on the markup on that bill, it would be during the week of the 8th, December 8th, that week, or the week of December 15th. So head on a swivel right there if we're going to see some action before the end of the year. And hopefully we do, and they live up to what the senators have told us previously. Meanwhile, Genius Act first rule up for proposal. The FDIC's Travis Hill says the agency will introduce its first stablecoin application rule this month. Watching closely. Let's make sure that they don't stray from the Genius Act. We don't need another choke point. We're already dealing with choke point 3.0. MicroStrategy's dealing with it now. Is it going to be MicroStrategy or MicroTragedy? Right? Shout out to my sister-in-law, Heather, for that one. Yeah, it was great to see you guys. Always a good time hanging with family and never enough time, to be perfectly honest. But here, FDIC presentation XRP. If you take a look at this, this is FDIC presentation looking at Bitcoin, XRP, and Litecoin in this diagram, highlighting Ripple. XRP is housed on the Ripple network. XRPs are shared among key participants. Yeah, we know. And now the FDIC is telling all of us they know. That's what they're telling us. And they're working on rules. Real USD. That's what I'm thinking of. And here, this is an article just came out in The Economist here, as you can see, for December 1st. Look who it is. Larry Fink, Rob Goldstein on how tokenization could transform finance. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you so you can breathe a sigh of relief. But I will tell you that it is interesting because, as he says here, shout out to Christopher Perkins for this clip, BlackRock manages $13.46 trillion assets under management, and and to go along with, their portfolio management system manages about $22 trillion with Aladdin by BlackRock. So when its CEO says that tokenization could transform markets, you need to pay attention. They have the infrastructure base and the distribution to make this happen. And interestingly enough, Ripple joins tokenized treasury push. Now, we know that they've been partnered with Open Eden, but Ripple and the top institution backed other top institutions backed Open Eden in a new round aimed at expanding tokenized U.S. treasuries. Remember, Open Eden is already doing this along with Ondo Finance on the XRP ledger in conjunction with Blackrock. Open Eden just closed a major strategic round with Ripple, Lightspeed Faction, Falcon X Global, and more. You can see the more right here, right? Anchorage Digital, Flowdesk, Sigma Capital, Ventures, Gates Ventures. You see it, right? Coming soon, tokenized high yield global bond fund, multi-strategy yield vaults, deeper USDO stablecoin integrations, which is Open Eden stablecoin, I believe. On-chain yields are going institutional. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. I don't need to break the article down for you, but Ripple leading that VC invest in Open Eden tells you where this is going, along with and what we just showed you here with BlackRock, right? And this guy says it right here. BlackRock has the size of market and have the infrastructure base to get this done. And if you want to look at the institutions behind trillions of dollars that are converging at Ondo Summit for tokenization, take a look at this list. See if you recognize anybody. Citi, Swift, DTCC, Invesco, Fidelity, Pantera, Moody's, Coinbase, Bloomberg, Broadridge, JP Morgan, S&P Global, State Street, Wisdom Tree, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Societe Generale, Franklin Templeton, McKinsey and Company. The names in the room tell you everything you need to know about where tokenization is heading. That's Ondo Finance sharing that post. Not an influencer, but damn sure got that kind of vibe. That's how happy and bullish they are. And then we have NASDAQ coming in and said they're accelerating their push to launch blockchain-based settlement for stocks. This is exactly where things are going. And to be perfectly truthful, it's the larger part of the pie. Crypto assets are a very thin slice of a giant pie. The tokenization of the rest of traditional finance is the rest of the pie. Which crypto projects can help tokenize the rest of the pie is what I'm constantly trying to figure out. Yeah, I think I got my thumb on some of it. And then Ripple released this in the eyes and everything we see here of the wave of tokenization that's being announced, right, by Ondo, Larry Fink, and all the others I just read off to you. Ripple put this out. To capture the value of projected 16 trillion tokenized economy, institutions need more than just storage. They need resilience. So it starts where? Exactly where I opened up this video talking to all of us retail investors. Custody, security, right? Because at the end of the day, in digital assets, Akshay Waddle says it best right here, head of information and security for Ripple. In digital assets, security isn't a feature. It's the foundation of institutional trust. That's where we're at today. And we know that Ripple has got the institutional trust on lock. Crypto Bull says, look at this. Here's what's on lock. It's this chart. He says XRP held above its 2018 bull market, monthly highest close for the past 12 months. He says this is not the top. A cycle top is when you have a massive monthly candle with massive volume. He believes we are still waiting for that candle, and he also believes it will come very soon. None of us know exactly what's going to happen. I think it's just amazing that we all have the awareness to have a position in this market at this time so we can see what will happen. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.